In this video, we're going to go over my 5 favorite spell cards in Everdawn, and we're going to start with Change of Destiny. So we'll put it up here on the screen, and the effect of this card says change the attack type of one of your creatures for this combat phase. Now, there's 2 primary ways that you can use this card. One is more simple. The second is the reason that I really love it. So the first one is just when you are needing to play a card or attack a creature, but you don't have advantage in the combat triangle, and so you're not able to add your bonuses to that card, then you would be able to play this card to switch the type in order to add the advantage bonuses that you get from your card in order to defeat the other card. And so we'll put up 2 cards here as the example. So let's say that I have a range type and I am attacking a melee type. If that's true, I don't have advantage on the combat triangle, and so I could play this card and change my range card to a magic card, and then I would be able to add my combat advantages to my attack bonus, or I'd be able to add my attack bonus and my defense bonus, and then I would be able to kill that other card. So that's kind of the first way that you can use it, and that's fine. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But the second way that you can use it is more of like a trap card style. So this is more of like, if you are back to range, so if you have a magic card that is attacking you, then in response to the attack, I can change the combat type of my card to a magic type, which would cause the attacking card to now lose its attack bonus and defense bonus and potentially not be able to kill my card. But even if it does, it would be really most well played if it's played on a card that could defeat that melee card in the counterattack. Because one of the worst things that you can do in Everdawn is die or have one of your creatures die in a counterattack. So if you're attacking a card, you better be sure that you can beat it and that it won't kill you in the counterattack back. So let's say, for example, that this melee card declares an attack against this range card, and then I play Change of Destiny, and it changes that range card to a magic card, and then that melee card now dies in the counterattack. If that happens, then that player is going to have an open lane for an entire round of combat until they can get back to their set phase and play a card from their bench back into that lane. And if they have an open lane, then that means their morale is going to be open for the taking, right? So that's one of the win conditions. If you deplete the morale from 100 to 0, then you win the duel. And so if I'm coming into a combat phase and you've got a lane that's totally open, then that's really easy for me to just chip away at your morale. And so that's like one of the worst things that you can do. So let's actually say that that does happen. What would you do if something happens and you accidentally die in a counterattack and you leave one of your lanes open? You can actually play a card called Midway Camp, and this is the second in our lineup of the top 5. Midway Camp says that you receive half damage in a chosen lane this combat phase. And so you can play this card in any lane. So let's say that you're defending, let's say I have a melee deck, and melee can only attack and counterattack straight ahead. So you've got 3 lanes of combat. Well, let's say I'm attacking or I'm defending against a magic deck, and a magic deck can attack anywhere. So let's say that they're trying to really go and like deplete my morale as like their attack strategy for the game. Well, if they're piling all 3 lanes up into my middle lane, and it's going to kill my card and the other 2 attacks are going to take out morale points, then I can play Midway Camp, and it halves all of the damage that's coming into that chosen lane for that combat phase. And so every card, let's say it has 20 20 20, it would be 10 10 10, and it probably would not be enough to defeat the melee creature that I have in that lane. And so Midway Camp is a lifesaver in many ways when you're trying to save your morale, especially. Okay, let's go to card number 3. This one is Divine Destruction. And this says add 5 points of damage to any single attack or counterattack. And this is just like a good old school, just power boost spell card. So if you're buffing other creatures and it doesn't really look like this creature can do anything, and so the opponent's not really worried about it, you can declare an attack and slap that bad boy down and be able just to add 5 points of damage to a single attack towards an opponent and be able to kill that creature. But what's also important about this card is that you can add that 5 points of damage to a counterattack as well. So if you're on the defense and someone has declared an attack against one of your creatures, and same thing as Change of Destiny, they think to themselves, oh, this is going to be easy, I'm going to be able to attack this card and not die in the counter attack, then you can play like Change of Destiny, Divine Destruction like a trap card, where you take that hit, but then you play this down, and in that counter attack back, you can force one of their lanes open again as they die in a counter attack. So there's beauty and simplicity. It's a very simple card, but very, very useful a lot of times. Then we'll go to card number 4. This card is Resting Fortress, and this says redirect an opponent's attack to a lane of your choice. Again, this spell card is really, really good because this can be used kind of like Midway Camp as a lifesaver, where if you feel like you know that a creature is, they're going to pile up attacks into one lane, or maybe they're going to try to attack your champion and you want to save your champion, then you may not be able to negate all of their attacks. You may not be able to survive the hit from all 3 of your lanes, but at least you'd be able to play this card and redirect one of the attacks to a lane of your choice. So if you had a weaker card that you wanted to sacrifice to protect your champion, but they're trying to take out your champion, then you could just play this card into your lane that your champion is, and then choose which of the other 2 lanes you want to redirect that attack to. Now, this is another great opportunity where you could force, again, an open lane. Spell cards are kind of really useful for that. So you could play this card and redirect that attack to one of your creatures that has the ability to, when the counter attack is triggered for that card, kill the attacking card and force open a lane from dying in the counter attack. So you could do a similar thing as Change of Destiny here, where you could force open an empty lane by redirecting correctly. But even if you don't have a card that can do that, you can still choose which of your cards to save by redirecting away from the card and into another one of your lanes. Okay, and then finally for the last card out of our top 5 for our spell cards, Whispering Winds. Whispering Winds, the effect is prevent any opponent card from counterattacking this combat phase. So let's say that you've been on the receiving end of some of these kind of trap-like spell cards, and you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And so you can play this card, and you can prevent an opponent card from counterattacking. And so if you're worried about, I want to kill this creature, and I want to make sure that they die, but my creature stays alive and they don't do anything that's going to force this lane open, then you can play this card, even if they play Change of Destiny or Divine Destruction, and in some way flip the tide of that combat and have a more powerful return attack against you. Even if that was possible, this card prevents them from counterattacking, period. This is kind of a safe card where if you're not sure if they're going to play a spell card that's going to kind of trap you or flip combat, then you can just play this card and lock it in and make sure that they can't counterattack me, and so I'll be able to kill this card and it's fine. Of course, they could play Resting Fortress, and you have chosen that particular creature in lane 1 couldn't counterattack back, but if they played Resting Fortress and that card was redirected to a different card or a different lane where that spell card was not played, then that card then would be able to counterattack you. So for every spell card, there is at least, one loophole, but for Whispering Winds, it protects you against most changing of the tides of battle, right? Yeah, those are my top 5 favorite spell cards in Everdawn. We're going to do top 5 equipment, support creature, that kind of stuff in the future as well. So make sure to subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this, but also join the Discord where we are doing our playtesting tournaments right now. You can have the print and play deck or the tabletop simulator mod access and all that kind of stuff, and just join the community. We love teaching people to play and we love playing with people. So yeah, subscribe, join the Discord, and we'll see you in the next video.